Welcome to Fight Waves. Audio Journeys by Kung Fu Academic. I'm Verca Partikova, and I would like to take you behind the scenes of fighting, living in a training camp in Thailand, and my lifelong journey through the martial arts. I am the Kung Fu Academic, earned my PhD in sports psychology, after which I decided to leave academia to become a professional fighter. Step with me into the ring to share the raw reality, the continuous search for mental strength, and all the ups and downs. This episode is about fear, nerves, and failure. Welcome to the first episode. I'm really glad you are here. I'm going to take you on quite a personal journey today into my head and into my heart. And this episode is the beginning of the entire podcast. So I was thinking, should I tell you about how I lived in Hong Kong for 8 years, how I studied and competed in Kung Fu there, and then how I decided to move to Thailand, how I did my PhD in sports psychology, in martial arts, etc. But I think this can wait. I think the best place to start is at the bottom. So let me tell you about my latest fight in Malaysia. That was my MMA fight number 10, and it was definitely my worst fight ever. So usually before a fight, I am really brave, feeling excited, feeling strong, feeling like I'm the best in the world, and that the girl I'm facing is like, it's gonna be very fast procedure. But no, actually, I'm just kidding. Before the fight, I feel like I am really scared, that I'm terrified, I'm panicking, I'm overthinking a lot, I am thinking about what can go wrong. I'm trying to do all these like visualization, and I actually work a lot on my mind. And I will talk about this some other episode. But usually, like those last days are really hard, and especially like those last hours. So I had a corner with me, my friend Mick, so he had to watch me eat a really tiny bowl of rice for like an hour, because every time I put something in my mouth, I was like, okay, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up. Good. Okay, then next one. So the few hours before the fight were like really hard, and then we got into this venue, which was actually, the competition was really well organized, and everyone there was like very helpful. So I was warming up, watching the other fighters warming up. We were doing some pad work. I got my hands wrapped. I got all the gear checked by the officials of the event. I did my doctor's check as well, and then suddenly, like, my heart rate is really high. I can hear my heartbeat in my ears. It's like this drum going on in my ears, and the fear is really high, and it's like being on a roller coaster, and you are on this top of the hill, and just before they drop you down, just before the free fall, that moment that they're gonna drop you, that fear, that feeling of being totally terrified that you're gonna die. That's how I feel. That's how I feel like last 2 days or last few hours, and especially before the fight, when everyone's like getting ready. They wrap your hands. They give you your gloves, and you're like, okay, well, I guess now I have to do it. There's no way out. And I know there are people who are not scared. I've seen them. They do exist, but I'm not one of them. I will never be one of them. Let's face it. But that's okay. There are different personalities of fighters, and you can just be you. Like, you don't have to pretend that you don't have fear, or that you are not nervous. It's fine to just be you. That's the lesson that I got over the years. Well, so the officials, they came to me and they were like, okay, you are next. So they walk me to this like a closed glass door, and outside, behind this door, there's the venue, and it's a really cool venue where the audience sits like around the cage and also above it. So it's like if you are fighting like underneath the people, kind of like underground feeling. So there's this lady, she has like a walkie-talkie and some writing pad in her hands, and she looks at me and she says, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Yes." And inside I'm like, "No." And then she goes 3, 2, 1, and then she opens the door, and suddenly all the sounds or the noise gets to me, and suddenly all the fear is gone because it's my show. This is for me. This is my playground. So I walk around the cage and I put my hands up, and I'm really enjoying, and I'm really happy, and I'm like, wow, this is who I am. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is amazing. I love it. And so I get into the cage. I do my little ritual, which is kneeling on the stairs, touching the stairs with my hands, and then I go up. And my corner looks at me through the cage and he's like, "Are you having fun?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm actually having so much fun. Like, this is great. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I don't know why I was so scared before. This is amazing." And really, if I could turn off that fear and just have these like amazing emotions, I would do it. But I just can't find the switch. I don't think that it exists. Some of my training partners, they told me like, well, it's just because this is so amazing that you have to pay for it. You have to go through all this fear and anxiety and nerves to pay for all these like great moments. And so I'm there, I'm ready, and then the referee is like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" And ask the fighters. And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, okay, just move out of the way. I wanna fight already. I wanna have fun. I wanna exchange punches." And so it starts, and then I'm like a boxing bag. I'm like a sock in a washing machine. I don't know what's happening. Actually, until now, I don't really know what happened. I watched the video briefly. I think I did the mistake of getting too close, then I got hit, and then I just like went into survival state for the next like minute and a half, trying to like get my orientation back and like try not to give up. And I remember I was like still feeling like positive. I was like, I can still like turn this around. I can still do something. I was trying to figure out like solve this puzzle. This is like amazing moment for me in the fight, where not when I'm getting hit and I feel like a sock in the washing machine. I mean, when when all the fear is gone, and then all you have is like a problem, a puzzle, and you need to solve it. Like, how do I how do I punch this person in front of me in the face? Because like obviously she doesn't want to be punched, right? So what do I do? How does she react? What is my strategy? Like just solving problems. All the fear is gone. It's amazing feeling. I love it so much. And so I'm just standing there being hit, left and right, and then until I'm like, okay, I can't take it anymore, and I just like slide down on the side of the cage, and I hit the canvas, and the referee is standing above me, waving, waving the hands, and like the fight is over. And I'm like, what? That's it? That was like this fight was like my worst one. It was so much worse than even my first one, and I had no idea what I'm doing in the first one. I have lots of fights that I lost, and there were like moments, like highlights that I'm proud to show. Doesn't matter that I lost the fight, but still there are like moments that I was like doing really well in terms of the technique or how I solved the problems and so on. But here there's nothing. It's just like zero. And so we get out of the cage, we walk to the warming up area. I sit down on the chair, and I just like look in front of me. I stare on the ground, and my corner is just there, unwrapping my hands, taking off the gear, And then he's like, can you speak? Can you talk a little bit louder? I'm like, well, I don't know. There's nothing to say. I'm just like, it's blank. My mind is empty. There's nothing. I'm just like shocked. Like, I don't know what happened. Then we go back to the hotel. It's midnight because the fights are usually very late, and I'm just like sitting there crying. I'm like, what just happened? Like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, how can I be so bad? My first thought when I hit the canvas was like, I just let everyone down. I can never come back to my gym. I can never like talk to the people again. I can never look into their eyes. Like, oh my god, I need to find a new gym. I need to find new friends. I need to move to another continent because this is so bad. And so it took me some time when I got back to actually go to the gym and like talk to the people and look into their eyes. And surprise, surprise, no one was actually disappointed. Like, there were still the people were still there to support me, and they're still my team. They root for me, not because losing or winning. Of course, like, winning is better, but they're rooting for me because of all the preparation I did, all the sweat, all the tears, all the emotions, all the training hours they seen me putting in. That's why. And I'm slowly like trying to understand that and realize that it's difficult because I'm always like, oh, I need to make everyone proud. And so, like, to be able to take in this experience, I immediately booked another fight in Muay Thai because for MMA it's really difficult to get opponents, and you have to wait months, half a year to get a fight, and then you have this long preparation, and then it ends like this. So it's really crushing. It's soul crushing. So I took a Muay Thai fight that can be booked like quite quickly because there are lots of girls here training Muay Thai. So I did this fight, and then in the third round, I won by KO with a punch. So actually, it went pretty well. I was quite happy about it. Yeah. After that fight, I could go back and think about what went wrong in my MMA fight. It was kind of a way for me how to deal with it. Being a fighter is really hard. There are lots of ups and downs, but there are lots of downs, and lots of downs that we don't really show to people. It's hard, it's difficult, it's tiring. You are alone, even though you have your teammates, but it's quite lonely path. There's pain, there are injuries, there are lots of emotions, there is frustration, and at the same time, people are trying to, choke you, punch you, kick you. So even though I have a PhD, and I'm sure that actually bit off quite a chunk of my mental health, and it was a really difficult thing to do, and it was very frustrating. But still, this is like the most difficult thing I have decided to do with my life, and I keep doing it. So stick with me for the next episode, and I see you next time. Make sure you follow me on my socials, where you can also ask questions, or you subscribe to my irregular newsletter on my website.